Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work a little bit on keyboard shortcuts. And specifically, I have this problem that if I select text in a bunch of these are three separate text boxes, and you see I have this context menu here um, that shows a bunch of actions. And say that I were to press Control X, um, it will just go to seemingly a random one of these text boxes, right? And even though this one, I don't know if you can see, but the cursor is blinking here, the event nevertheless went to this guy. And if I paste, it goes to this guy again. And I click here, I expect to be pasting here, but it doesn't. Now, Control A ends up here, whereas Control V ends up in the bottom text box. Very, very strange. And of course, I know the reason for this, and it's that these actions here install these app global keyboard shortcuts. And I need to have some way to say that, like, well, no, hold on. This is not app global. This shortcut should really only be active if this widget here has focus. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is that I'm going to add a way for actions to have focus or to have a scope, so they can either be app global or widget local. So let's just get right into that. So this is the G action class. It represents an action like cut, copy, paste. It has a name, a shortcut, potential icon, and a callback. And now we're going to give it one more thing, which is going to be an enum scope. And we'll have, let's start with two scopes. Let's say app global, application global, or widget local. And widget local means that when the widget this action belongs to is focused, then the keyboard shortcut will be in effect. Otherwise, it won't care about this keyboard shortcut. And of course, at the same time, this will just be the old behavior that this thing will just kick in. Okay. Well, let's see. So for widget local, we're going to need to tie each G action to a widget somehow. They're currently not linked to their widgets. So I guess we're going to have to just have a way to pass a widget pointer in. I feel like this should be default to null footer everywhere. Because some people are not going to want to do this. Widget. Okay, we'll just add this here and copy and paste. Programming is the best, isn't it? Class G widget. Okay, and gotta add it to the constructors. G widget null footer. All right, almost there. And then we will add a member for this, and we'll use a weak footer so it becomes null in case it goes away. And widget, okay. We gotta include that. AK weak footer. Trusty old weak footer. I like you. Okay. Now to go and actually hook all that stuff up in the constructors. I guess we were not quite done with the copy-paste programming just yet. But that's what you get for having so many constructors. And widget is if widget, then make weak footer, otherwise nothing. Okay. Okay. An initializer for a delegating constructor. Oh. Yeah. You can't have arguments when you're just passing it on to a different constructor. Then you can't do the initializers. I mean, not arguments, initializers. All right. And let's add a getter for that widget thingy so that we can get to it. And widget per. Maybe we'll have a const version of that as well. Okay. Fine. And let's go and see how this is going to be used. So this is the GTextEditor class. GTextEditor is the widget that we saw here. Or 3 of them, actually. And when we construct one of these, then it will also create a bunch of these G-actions that that then have callbacks that execute on the text editor. So because of these are application global, then we run into this problem when we have more than one text editor. And obviously, this is not good enough. So we are just going to go and have to go and pass this here. I don't love that it ends up on this little last line here after the lambda, but I will accept it because whatever, because of the default value. Okay, so now we actually should, I forgot that we have to actually give it a scope as well. Oh god, do I have to do all this all over again? How about we say that when it has a widget, it is widget-local? I think that's fine. Let's just do it that way. Okay. And I can come back and copy-paste my way again later if I change my mind. Okay. So now we got to go and look in G-application because this is where all shortcuts get registered. So I will show you actually in G-action. When G-action is created, it will, if it has a valid shortcut, it will call the G-application and register itself as a shortcut action. And basically, this just means that it ends up in this huge hash map of shortcuts. Now, I already see a problem here, which is that this is now going to be able to have multiple entries with the same shortcut. So let's see, how do we tackle this? I don't want to make it any more complicated. So let's just say that these ones are app global. Yeah, that's how we should do it. Application global shortcut actions. Let's call it that. And shortcut. And we'll say that these are for registering globals only. And then in G-action, we'll say if M shortcut is valid. Shit. This is a little bit iffy. I feel like I'm gonna need this stupid thing anyway. What the heck did I call them? Application global, widget local. Okay, and let's just compute it. Let's compromise. We'll say that widget is Okay, so here's the overload that has a shortcut. Okay, and then we'll say m scope if m widget m scope is widget local. else. This is, let's do it this way. Okay. Application global. And mscope is scope application global. Yeah, that's cool. And then we can then we need to have a way to, how do we find this? How do we find this when we get that keyword input? So let's just do all the grunt work first. So we just rename these guys. And I think this is the guy here. Yeah, action for key event. Right. And who calls you, my dear friend? It's here. In the G event loop, when we get a key down, then we consult the G application looking for global shortcuts. I think what we're going to want to do is, before we do this, we're going to look at the window and see if the window has any, if the Windows focused widget has any shortcuts. Okay, so if auto action is window dot focused widget. Okay, well, first we do this, and then auto action is focused widget action for key event. And action is enabled. Okay, that was a little bit weird, but fine. Now we got to implement that because that doesn't exist. So how is it even going to work? G widget action for key event. Well, what did the current thing do? So the existing one was doing this. Let's just start with that. So we don't really have a map of these things in the widget. We're not aware that they exist even. They know about us, we don't know about them. So I guess we have to change that. Or let's put this up here. Okay, action key event. Add a little bit of a forward declaration. Okay, so maybe we can call this local shortcut actions. And global shortcut actions. Let's have this. Okay, so let's add the same type of map to the G widget. I don't care about growing G widget by one map, whatever. In my previous job, I used to freak out about like every byte of memory I would add to any structure class. But right now, here, I don't give a shit. And it's relaxing programming this way. Okay. And then we're gonna just call these from the G action to install ourselves on the widget instead. I think that would be pretty neat. So we'll say mwidget.register local shortcut action as a badge, fancy badge. And if mwidget and mscope is scope widget local, mwidget unregister local shortcut action, fancy badge, and this. Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, it's still called global. Okay. I'm feeling optimistic. Let's build it. So basically what we're doing is we're just copying the global mechanism and making a local version of it for every GWidget. And then GWidget will be able to look up the shortcut. Ooh, I forgot something. I forgot to copy paste program these functions. Okay, you got me. Okay, should we do a search and replace? Okay, let's do it. Look at that. Oh, gee, that's silly. I forgot to include the header. I feel like this will work out pretty well. And I made sure to use a weak putter. Go away, new line. Okay, let's just finally finish the build, please, so that I can try it. This build is getting so long. Come on now. Okay, come here. You up there, you down there, and then you down there. Okay, and shit, let's try something else. Where do we have one of those? I guess in the visual builder. So normally here, the text editor would probably swallow, say, the Control X or delete, but now it didn't swallow the delete. It went to the window. So that was not the most self-explanatory thing to look into. But yeah, so this is working very nicely. I think that's exactly how I would like that to work right now. So let's do a patch review. Okay, so here we are just setting the mWidget member of GAction in 5 million places. And in the actually relevant constructor, if we do have a widget, then we set our scope to Widget-local and register with the widget as a local shortcut. Otherwise, we set our scope to application global and register with app class. I just realized that let's call it shortcut scope, and we'll also have none, and none will be the default value because not all actions have shortcuts. So I feel like that would be more representative of the actual state of the object. So shortcut scope. Let GUI. In you go. And unused param 27 because I'm not passing it here. See, you should listen to the compiler actually. Okay. Again. See, I was just scrolling past that before. I didn't realize that was a mistake. Thank you, compiler. Okay, now with the new shortcut scope name, that's cool. And then in GAction, we forward declare, blah, 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 define the shortcut scope, pass widget in 5 billion fajillion places. Okay, so here we add the weak widget getter. Here's the constructors, and here's the new scope member, default to none, and a weak putter to a G widget that we may or may not have. Okay, and then in GApp, we rename register shortcut action to register global shortcut action, and we rename the maps and stuff accordingly, because GApplication now only manages the global shortcuts. And then in the event loop, when we get a key down, the first thing we do is check, is there a focused widget in the window that's receiving this key event? If so, does that focused widget give us an action for this key event? If so, is this action enabled? If so, we activate that action. Nice. Okay, and then return. No further processing. Right, and then here we are just passing it to the actions that we create in the G-text editor so that they become local to the text editor widget, like we just made possible. Very nice. And then here in GWidget, the action for key event and all of this stuff just copy pasted from GApplication the way that it works there. Seems to work beautifully. And here's the GWidget changes for that in the header. And here's the little thing that I made before I started recording, just to have this little test window with the 3 text boxes. Okay, let's commit. Lit GUI. Lit GUI. Allow G actions to be scoped either globally or widget locally. This makes it possible for a G-text editor to have a bunch of actions, to create a bunch of actions with popular shortcuts like Control-C, etc., without polluting the global shortcut namespace. Widget-local actions will only activate while their corresponding widget has focus. Smiley face. Cool. Push. Whoa! All right. So I think I'm happy with that. So let's try it one more time. Control X, Control X, Control X. Very cool. Okay, that I think will do it for this video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching. And if there's anything you would like to hear about, or for me to show, or interested in anything else about this system, just leave a comment and I will see what I can get to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.